In today's video, I'm going to go over my personal diet and I'm going to give you a tour of my kitchen to show you what I eat every day. Coming up. Hi everyone, this is Dr. Ernesto from AttaBoyCowBoy. On this channel, we give you health and wealth tips to help you be more successful. Now today I'm here with my friend Emilio. He's a nurse and he wanted to know what exactly it is I eat and how I work in my kitchen. So I wanted to give you a tour and show you all the stuff I have. So I'm going to show you first my fridge. If you have any questions, Emilio, go ahead and ask me.
All right.
But basically I try to not eat very much sugar, if any, no salt, and no vegetable oils. That's the main purpose. Lots of fruits and vegetables. So now here I have a little bit of meat. That's my roommate's. The only bread I eat is Ezekiel bread, flourless bread. It's high in protein. One slice of bread, of Ezekiel bread, is like an egg. And I try to eat primarily a vegan diet. That's the purpose. And like I always say, I don't have a routine. I don't agree with that. I don't think people should eat the same stuff. So whenever I go to the store, I buy random stuff. And that's why I like going to the 99-cent store. Because every week the food's totally different. But there are some stores I go to, like Costco. And whenever I go there, I buy this stuff. It's called baby chard, baby spinach, baby kale mix. I eat a lot of these greens. And then I use a lot of Ezekiel products. Here's Ezekiel sprouted tortillas. So they're high in protein. I use a lot of carrots. I put carrots in all my soups and whatever else I make. I drink mainly like soy milk, but sometimes I buy almond milk. No regular milk. But I do like whipped cream on my desserts. If I eat mixed fruit or something, I'll add nuts and I'll put some whipped cream on it. I love whipped cream. And when I make my burgers, I like cheese. So I use this veggie cheese, lactose free. It does have a little bit of dairy in it, but I use cheese. And then as a seasoning for like my beans and my soups, I use this miso soup paste. And here's some hemp milk. I have some eggs in case I get a craving for eggs. I eat eggs sometimes. And then here's my shakes. I'm actually down to my last one. I make about 4 or 5 of these, and then I store them in the fridge. And I use the recycled olive jar. This has a mixture of fruits and vegetables. This one in particular has guava, and it has a mix of the kale, baby chard, and spinach mix. It has carrots, and then I added all my herbs and my other supplements, which I'll go over in a minute. And I keep them chilled, and every morning after I exercise, I drink one of these. I add nuts to it also, so it's kind of like my protein shake, but I have them ready to go. So I can drink them when I'm ready. And then I always have lots of greens. I love bok choy. I chop this up. I put it in my salads. I put it in my beans. And again, if you look at my fridge week to week, I eat totally different stuff. I love iceberg lettuce for my sandwiches. Lots of condiments. You know, I don't really use all this stuff. I do like mustard. I have garlic here in case I don't have time to chop it up. So I put lots of garlic in my beans. And I just ate the rest of it this morning, but I usually have a pot of beans here. And it varies. I'll either have lentils, beans, black beans, pinto beans, 15-bean soup. And then I'll mix it in with lots of carrots, onions, garlic. And I use barley or millet or buckwheat. I use stuff like this. And I mix it in there and it's really high in protein. It has a lot of antioxidants. And it's filling. And if I want to make something baked, I use something like this, like buckwheat flour. So it's higher in antioxidants. It has a low glycemic index. So it's not going to make you gain weight. I have some coffee. I don't drink coffee, but that's like for my visitors. If I have guests over. I do eat occasionally protein powder. If I'm in a hurry, I might take some vegan protein powder, but I usually just try to make my own drinks. My freezer, lots of veggies. I use hemp seeds for my salads and for my protein shakes because it has a lot of protein in it. Maca root, which is good for men, for reproductive health, for erectile function. Lots of different greens. I have peas, mixed vegetables, and I have always lots of berries. I buy fresh berries sometimes, but I usually like to buy them frozen just because berries break down really fast. So if you buy them fresh, they lose a lot of their nutritional value very quickly. So I always keep these and I add them to my oatmeal and my different desserts. And in case I get a craving, I always keep a little bit of chicken burgers. I might eat 1 or 2 a week. And then I keep plant-based Beyond burgers, which I love. And again, maybe like once a week. Sometimes I'll go a couple weeks. It's just in case I get a craving for something salty or if I want to eat something that's meat-like. I Then I plant a lot of fruit trees in my yards, citrus trees, guava trees, and I harvest them. They're organic. They don't have any pesticides in them. And then I freeze them, and I use them throughout the year to make my shakes. Guava is actually one of the most nutritious, if not the most nutritious fruit you could eat in the world. One guava has as much protein as an egg, so it's good stuff. Up here, I keep my nuts and my sweets. If I feel like I'm craving something sweet, I eat dates. And then I use a lot of peanut butter, different types of peanut butter. I put it in my oatmeal instead of using honey. This is higher in protein, it has fat, and it has good taste. I love peanut butter. I'll make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich with Ezekiel bread, 2 slices, is around 25-30 grams of protein. So it's like eating a steak or something. But you're going to absorb twice as much of that protein. And just so you know, just so we're on the topic, it's a myth that vegans can't get the same amount of protein as people that eat meat. A vegetarian or vegan diet tend to get 25% more protein in their diet than people that eat meat. And that's because of bioavailability. So I mentioned that in another video, but basically if you eat a steak that's about 40 grams of protein, after you break it down, your body does all that work, you might get like 10 or 15 grams of protein out of it. Whereas if you eat like an egg, or let's say the Ezekiel bread sandwich I talked about, has about 30 grams, and you'll probably absorb like 25. So it has a higher bioavailability, it's called, of protein. It's easier to digest. You actually get a higher protein diet eating a vegan diet. Now, every morning when I wake up, I start off my day with about 5 glasses of water on an empty stomach. This is 2.5 cups. I get this big cup, I fill it up twice. I get this, and I squeeze lemons. If I don't have any in my garden, which I happen to have right now, I'll go to the market, I'll buy lemons, grapefruits, oranges, whatever type of citrus, and I'll squeeze about, right now I've been using about 5 or 6 of these every morning. It cleans out my liver, it keeps my skin nice and clean. And I was talking to Emilio earlier, we were talking about chronological age versus biological age. Chronological age, I'm about to turn 47. Biological age, I just did my physical, they said I'm 31. So eating a healthy diet helps. I do the lemon juice, clean my liver. And then to get my brain going, I have some maca powder. Now, 1 teaspoon of this, or 1 cup of maca powder, it's basically green tea powder, has the same amount of antioxidants as 170 glasses of green tea. I don't drink that in a whole month. I drink green tea before I work out to get me pumped so I can exercise more. But this just gets your brain sharp. It's a fat burner, and it has 170 times more antioxidants, so it's really good. This bag costs about $8. It lasts me about 3 months. I mean, it costs nothing. It's way cheaper than coffee. I take about a teaspoon every morning. You can mix it in your drinks, your desserts, stuff like that. I just put it in my mouth and chase with water. So I don't like to waste it. I don't want to get stuck to the sides of the cup. I use a little bit of raisins to sweeten my oatmeal. I use nuts. I get a variety of nuts. I have macadamia nuts here. I have a mix of nuts here that I made. And always keep your nuts raw because you want all the oils. This has pumpkin seeds, almond seeds, walnuts, and I think that's it. I think I might have mixed some chia seeds in there, but they settled at the bottom. And I put these on my oatmeal in the morning. I have oatmeal a lot in the morning. I like oatmeal. I have some sprouted pumpkin seeds. Again, I just get a variety of nuts. Make sure they're raw. Get some oatmeal. Brand doesn't matter. You just happen to have this fancy brand. Someone let me, but you can just use whatever. I have some prunes there that I use when I don't have raisins. And then up here, I have more supplements. I have my teas up here for myself when I want herbal tea when I'm working. And every morning I take a shot of MCT oil in the morning when I wake up so I get some fat, wake my brain up, brain food. And I take a squirt actually before I go to sleep at night also when I go to sleep. That helps you burn fat. It's good for rebuilding your brain. And I don't eat a completely vegan diet. As you can see here, I take gelatin. It's made out of beef bones. But I really recommend this. I've had a lot of surgeries, predominantly my leg. I had 4, but I've had a lot of broken bones from wrestling. When I don't take this stuff, my joints feel like they're on fire. I tried the vegetable version, and it's okay, but nothing works as good as this for me. I recommend this for patients, and they really like it. So I take 2 scoops of this in the morning. It's really high, obviously, in collagen. This is much cheaper. This costs about $30, and it lasts me about 3 months. It's about $10 a month. And the reason why I mention price is because a lot of people think that you have to spend a lot of money. You don't. A lot of products are multi-branding. So it could be GNC or it could be some no-name brand. It's the same company that makes it. There's basically like 3 main companies in the whole world that make supplements. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. But if you're going to buy gelatin, make sure it's the grass-fed, pasture-raised kind, the good kind. Otherwise, it's going to have a lot of hormones and antibiotics in it, which you don't want.
Where did you get that one?
I bought that one on eBay, so I just buy it on eBay. But they have it on Amazon. They have it on all the websites. And again, you don't have to go for brands, so I don't recommend any particular brand. Here are my spices. Although I don't really use any, I don't use salt, but I'll tell you, I do use pepper. I use pepper in a lot of stuff, and I use chili pepper here. This is good too, because it's good for your colon, for your brain, for your circulation. I put this in a lot of my soups and my salads, everything else. And I like this stuff, this Dr. Bragg's liquid amino acids. It's like soy protein seasoning, and it has a bunch of amino acids in it. So I use this as a seasoner. It's kind of like salt. I put that on my soups and stuff. My salads, I have my salads, I put apple cider vinegar. I put olive oil. I use a lot of olive oil. If I'm eating something that doesn't have any fat in it, I put olive oil on it raw. And I also use balsamic vinegar over here also. So this is good. I'll put this on for flavoring. And again, these are all good for your health. They have different properties that are medicinal. And of course, the greatest blender ever created, the Vitamix. I use this for everything. I can make just about anything with it. And it lasts forever. This one's, I'd say, about 8 years old. They last forever. I use glass jars for everything. If you look at my plates and my cups and all this stuff, I try not to use stuff with colors because sometimes the coloring has lead in it. So I just use plain glass. I use plain glass, plates, cups, everything, metal spoons, nothing plastic or with colors because otherwise they release lead into your food. As for utensils, same thing. I use bamboo and I use metal. I don't use anything with plastic. Otherwise, it's going to leach into your food. You don't want to eat plastic with your food as a seasoning. And my water, just get plain old tap water, and I filter it with my Brita. So I get healthy water. Nothing in bottles. Nothing. I never drink bottled water. Very unhealthy. I totally recommend you stay away from it. For cooking, only coconut oil I use. I keep it simple. This is pretty much the best stuff you can use to cook with. Up here, I keep my fresh fruits, my ginger. Now, when I make my shakes, like the one I showed you in the fridge, I get random fruits and vegetables every week. It's totally different. If I have ginger, I'll add ginger. If I have bananas, I rinse the banana, I use the whole banana. The outside has B vitamins, whereas the inside doesn't. So banana rinds are really good. If you've never tried it, I recommend it because it makes your shakes actually creamier. And here's where I keep a lot of my supplements. Now, I have 2 different containers of supplements I take morning and night. I'll make a different video on that so I can explain that. But every morning when I'm drinking my lemon water, I drink teaspoon of L-glutamine and a teaspoon of Beta-alanine. Now these are for muscle building and for keeping you young. And I take a 1/4 teaspoon of creatine, again, because I'm trying to build muscle. And I take a small scoop of HMB. So these are my weightlifting or my muscle building supplements. And then for my shakes, I put cinnamon, antioxidant. I use turmeric, antioxidant. It's good for your brain, inflammation, a lot of health properties. And then I use bee pollen. It's also good for you. And then I use chocolate, dark chocolate, cacao powder, or cacao nibs, whatever's on special. I buy it. I just alternate it. And then this stuff I kind of alternate. I have wheatgrass powder, but sometimes I have chlorophyll or something else like that. I'll get whatever's on special. I'll just alternate it. All those go into my shakes. And now my secret is potato starch. This goes into your stomach and it's really good for your bacteria. They love it and it makes you feel full. So if you're trying to lose weight, I recommend potato starch. You take a teaspoon before meals. I use this if I'm going to go out with buddies or I'm going to go to a buffet or whatever, somewhere where I might eat, or if I'm going to go to a party, somewhere where I might be exposed to bad food. I take a teaspoon or 2 of this to kind of fill me up before I get to where I'm going, so that way I don't eat too much.
How do you take that?
Oh, this stuff? Again, I just get a teaspoon. I just put it into my mouth and I chase it. You have any other questions?
No. Will you be able to include all those in a single shake?
Yeah, I mix all these up in shakes. That dark green shake that you saw right now, it has all this stuff mixed in there. I put small amounts of it, and then I just blend it all up, and then I just put it in here. Now, it's not the best tasting shake, but it doesn't taste terrible either. Now, if you want it to taste good, then you can put stevia or something like that that might make it taste better, but I'm so used to it. I've been drinking that stuff for like 15 or 20 years. It doesn't really matter to me. It's kind of like my morning drink, and it's just always different, so I use whatever's available. So thank you again for watching. If you have any questions about my daily routine, please comment below and I can answer your questions. Thank you. And from Emilio and I, goodbye.